While everyone's focus is on Gaza and Hamas, Israel, Israeli settlers, Israeli military, um, the Minister of Security, Ben Gvir, Smotrich, and a whole host of forces are plundering all over the West Bank. Yesterday in Tul Karim, 5 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli military. Jenin, Nablus, attacks on Ramallah, and a rounding up and arrest of individuals all over the West Bank. While people are debating is it genocide or not genocide, and trying to say that saying genocide is a blood libel, that it's an anti Semitic, saying from the river to the sea is anti Semitic, free Palestine is anti Semitic. The Israeli settlers and the Israeli military and the government basically are plundering all over the West Bank, shooting at Palestinians at will, demolishing homes. Settlers are going in, taking livestock, coming in, taking homes, which raises the big question. At what point will the United States, Europe, and the United Nations actually will intervene to protect the Palestinians? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit maybe daydreaming that the so-called international community, which is actually is complicit in the pain and suffering that has been inflicted on the Palestinians for the past 100 years. Remind you that what we are dealing with today is still the outcome of the Paris Agreement, the World War I Sykes-Picot Agreement between France and Great Britain, and the divvying up and the drawing of the borders of this region that today we call the Middle East, even though that it's a colonial term that was imposed on the region. And the Paris Conference post-World War I incorporated the Balfour Declaration. The United States under Wilson adopted it, incorporated to the League of Nations, all the way up to the Mandate and the creation of Israel in 1948 on the back of an ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. So while we're appealing to the international community to try to intervene, let's be very clear that they are complicit. They have funded the colonial enterprise that we call Israel today. They provide protection for it in international setting and continue to arm it to the teeth. Just today, Germany is actually considering, if it's not already the case, that they send ammunition and supplies to Israel. They're going to join the defense of Israel on genocide in the World Court. And I don't want to even narrate how much the United States continues to support Israel militarily, economically, politically, and protection. Today, Blinken was asked by Thomas Friedman, who never misses an opportunity to be Islamophobic and racist toward the Arab, sophisticated so in his editorial in New York Times time and time again, as whether Palestinian lives are equal to Jewish lives. And Blinken feigned the fact that he having for a moment expressing some empathy. But let's just be very clear. The empathetic position to take is to stop supplying Israel with weapons. But more importantly, where are all the restrictions on the settlers and the settlements and the Israeli military in its operation on the West Bank? I know you're focused on the Gaza Strip. It's Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. But what is taking place in the West Bank? Where are the intervention, the condemnation on Jenin? Where are the condemnation in Tul Karim? Where are the condemnation on what's taking place in Al-Khalil? Where is the condemnation in Ramallah? Where are the condemnation throughout the West Bank? Where are the condemnation for the Palestinian hostages that have been taken from their homes, almost 3,000 plus, since October 7th? or all these are completely erased. So while we're talking about genocide in Gaza, we are still dealing with the unfolding genocide on the Palestinians since 1948. And also, we're dealing with the genocide that is unfolding in the West Bank. And I know that people are going to try to say, oh, you are using the genocide term and genocide word. And I would say that the defense that's mounted on the World Court was not much of a defense for Israel. It was a series of deflections, a series of denial, a series of just saying it's Hamas. So Hamas is in the mosque, Hamas is in the hospitals, Hamas in the schools, Hamas in the UN facility, Hamas in every apartment building, and thus rationalizing or using the euphemism of civilian human shields, which international law again instructs and dictate that to err on the point of protection of civilian population rather than what Israel military and government has indicated with its own statements and also with its own actions. So statements of intent and actions corresponds to the intent that has been expressed. So while our eyes rightly are focused on Gaza, we have a simultaneous assault and slow genocide and slow ethnic cleansing and attack on the Palestinian society in the West Bank. And we just need to be aware and understand the dynamics that are taking place.